Welcome to the Casting Dead, a podcast for The Walking Dead on AMC. I'm Matt.
And I'm David.
And today we'll be discussing Season 7, Episode 9, Rock in the Road.
We are back.
Yeah, that we are, 2 months later. Right?
Yeah, 2 months.
Not a big wait, not a big cliffhanger, so everything's good.
And now with a vengeance.
Not with a vengeance at all, no.
No,
a little out of sorts. I've got a cold, I'm a little sniffly.
Well, there was a time
tired.
There was a time that this was no excuse. You still need your vengeance.
Yeah, vengeance needs to take a back seat
today. That's a bummer. All right.
What were your initial thoughts, David, on this episode, episode 9?
It's the one I like the most so far, but that doesn't say much.
The one you like the most out of one?
Out of all of them.
Okay, out of every episode of The Walking Dead.
So far, yeah, I like this one the most. But again, that doesn't say much.
I need you to clarify now. You love this episode the most out of every season?
Don't go say love.
You like this episode the most out of every season?
No.
Okay, so out of the first 9 episodes of season 7.
Of this season thus far.
All right. Yeah, I thought it had a lot of good progression. It was the first episode that really did what it should have done.
It was the first concrete, sequential progression we've seen in a while.
Yeah, enough happened in it to satisfy me. And
apparently for the cast too. It's like you see them all together all at the same time, except for Carol. But it's still
she's still out in the woods.
Still out in the woods.
Oh, well. Do you have anything you want to say, or should we get right into it?
Get right into it, man.
All
I'll
right,
have a lot to say, but
you don't have a lot to say.
I'll have a lot to say. We just have to get into it.
Yeah. So, Father Gabriel. We open with him under the cloak of nightfall.
That's right.
He leaves Alexandria in the loudest fashion imaginable.
He was so nonchalant going into the pantry.
And then
I thought he had a heart attack or something.
Yeah, I thought he fell over and knocked over a bunch of shelves, but he just decided, who cares? Who cares if I'm incredibly loud? I'm just going to knock all these cans into a
Hopefully an
basket.
Upsie follows after this noise, but that didn't happen. No Upsie. It was just, it was apparently intentional.
Yeah. And later on we see that he cleared out the entire pantry.
That's right.
I don't even understand how he could do that. Or for what reason?
We kind of speculate.
I can't speculate. You'll tell me about it later on.
Fine. He was, but it was weird though. You know when he picked up the book? Well, you want to get to, or you get to when he reads the inventory at some point?
It was really dark on my screen, so I had trouble seeing it. But what was he looking at?
He was looking at the inventory for the non-perishables after all that ruckus he made.
Okay,
and he opens it up briefly and goes, "Just checking." Because I had to put the captions on.
He
the second
says,
time.
"Just checking."
Just checking.
Okay.
Which I find, well, I mean, the captions are wrong because the captions aren't necessarily the official script. It's just,
Well, let's go with it.
We'll go with it.
AMC is delivering us. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so he mouths that to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Then loads up his car, drives away.
With a kidnapper, apparently the passenger.
Yeah, so somebody is there. I didn't see him or her. I only read about it. It was way too dark in my screen.
There has to be more than one person for sure.
What do you mean, more than one?
I mean, if it's a kidnapper, it's got to be more than one person because the season, last half season ended with someone seeing with a bird's eye view of Father Gabriel, bird's eye view from within Alexandria.
Yeah, but didn't it turn out that it was Dwight?
It was so well. I feel like it is. It's the same involvement for sure. I feel like it is, and maybe it is. Maybe that individual could be alone, and if it's speculated to be Dwight, then maybe.
Okay.
But I believe it's the same. It's definitely parallel. All
right.
Yeah.
Well, all this aside, I would definitely do this. I would do the exact same thing as Father Gabriel. Load up, after dark, and drive as far away as I could.
Basically not come back, though. No intention of coming back.
Drive weeks and weeks away. Go to a drive to Canada, I guess.
Carol tried. She's still around.
Yeah, but they never get that far. It's like they get a few days away and then they stop. They gotta go for days, for weeks, months.
Well, apparently you can't make it. Apparently you can't escape the saviors for some reason. They're everywhere somehow. And
you're always going to be within the long range.
Geography is still a factor somehow later on too. So I guess we'll get to that when we get there.
Yeah. All right. So now we got Gregory. He's refusing to help Rick and Co. He doesn't want to help fight the saviors. Enid, though, she rounds up a bunch of people from the hilltop and they agree to fight anyway. What did you think about this whole scene, David.
I want to talk about Gregory, though.
Yeah.
Some things that he was saying, like, I kind of like some of his lines. And he just goes to Jesus, and he's like, well, don't you work for me? Aren't we friends? And, that's when after Jesus mocks him for being, yes, you were so inspiring after you were so courageous that night when the walkers came in. And so he acts all snappy towards him, and he just says, don't you work for me? Aren't we friends? And I'm thinking to myself, what is their prior engagement here? What's their arrangement? Why is Jesus with this guy? Why is he say, don't you work for me? Well, under what currency? Like, what's he getting out of staying in Hilltop?
I don't know. He likes the people there.
I guess
it's the people. I just don't know what the people are doing backing Gregory.
Yeah.
But that being said, Gregory, I think I'm with him on this one.
That's true. I kind of understand him in a weird way, even though he is a prick. But I did love another one of his lines that I did like, though, when because I find at this point I find Tara's a bit naive, like her character.
Oh God, yes.
Doesn't she say? She says, like, when people see to do the right thing, they step up. I'm like, what world do you live in?
Yeah,
you just saw Rick cower down most of the time. I was like, yeah, most people try to step up because he's stepping up now. And then he goes, well, let me stop you before you break into song.
And definitely that's where it could have headed.
And that was like the most comical line I've heard thus far in The Walking Dead, to be honest. Like, that beats all of Abraham's lines, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, it's not hard to beat Abraham's lines.
No, I guess not. Well, then bumping fuglies and dingleberries.
Oh God. Don't remind me. These
he haunts us.
So Gregory, things could be better. But they could be a lot worse. And like Gregory said, they aren't a community of fighters. They're a bunch of farmers. Sorghum farmers. I still don't know what that is.
Yeah, they spelled it weird on the captions. I would never have guessed it was spelled that way. There's too many H's to my liking.
I don't even know where they fit in. But yeah, I don't know. This whole scene felt really strange to me.
It was rushed, I felt.
It seemed, what's the word?
Forced?
Forced. It felt like the staging of it was very obvious.
Definitely.
Where you could just see every character positioned in such a way that you'd be able to see them in the scene, and it felt weird. I think it was because I'm not used to seeing them in such a nice place,
probably, yeah.
And
it's a nice quarters you got there, right?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I have any problems about this. So let's move on from there, unless you have anything else to say.
Well, I think you asked me before, what followed, like, the rally that Enid.
Well, yeah. So that's what I want to get into now is
she gave a
Enid's role in this whole
her
roundup.
only role, if anything.
Yeah.
Well, because what I don't understand, I do understand, actually. I felt like, I guess while they were there talking to Gregory, she was giving, on any given Sunday speech equivalents to, like, Al Pacino. It's like, we fight for every inch of this territory. And then all they needed to hear from Maggie was, I do. Cherish you. And
I'm sure I don't get the reference.
I think it's a vow, isn't it? Some sort of marriage vow.
Maybe it sounds like a song by some band. Don't know. I would have liked to see maybe.
90 degrees. Sorry,
Enid washing off some blue and red paint off of her face to imply that maybe she had like a Braveheart moment with all of them.
I am Enid Wallace.
There you go. That works. But. No, apparently she rounded them all up. She's gained some sort of status within the Hilltop. And I don't know how many people are willing to fight, but at least 10, right?
It looked like around a dozen.
Yeah. One of them kind of looked like Spencer. For a while, I was like, "Why is Spencer there?"
I felt that way later on when we get to it. There was another one of the extras on Simon's side that looked like Spencer, and I even rewinded so I could see it. And they all look like him. I guess he's like the common Caucasian folk in that part of the world.
Definitely not Spencer. His blood is still soaked into the
concrete.
Pavement.
Yeah.
Yes. So then Tara does this. What does she say? She says, because they're talking about how they want to destroy the Saviors, and Tara does this line about how aren't some of these people not there by their own choice? They're kind of prisoners within the sanctuary to work for them.
Well, that's not clear to you?
No, it's very clear.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like we're past this. Tara is living,
she's behind.
4 seasons ago.
She's behind.
But like these people killed her girlfriend, and she's still like, some of these people are okay. You can't start separating the good eggs from the bad eggs. all the eggs are rotten.
However,
You're guilty by association here.
For argumentative sake, and not because I don't agree with you, for argumentative sake, Tara was on the wrong side. It did change side at some point as well.
Yeah, but these people have had opportunities too. I feel like
I don't know about
everyone's been spoiled.
Not really. I really feel like these people are held more hostage than Tara was when she was with on the side of the governor.
Either way, I mean, you don't know them. It's like bombing a city. Just bomb it and don't.
People
look
disagree
to see,
with that too.
Don't look to see who you've killed. Just know that the threat is gone.
Well, people disagree with that too for that reason.
Did you not see Rambo?
I love Rambo.
There you go.
Which one?
They threw kids into burning buildings.
They did not. Oh yeah, man. The fourth one, that was brutal. That was such a brutal film.
But they got the job done.
They did. I was traumatized,
Yeah.
and I found out what country Burma is.
Yeah, and they had they had the character. Who's the character from Dexter and Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
The bald guy who
The
led
woman.
Oh, the woman. Oh, the blonde woman.
Yeah.
I don't recognize her at all, actually, or I don't remember her being in Rambo.
Well, she was the woman who was the Tara of that movie.
Oh,
where
I
she was
see
saying,
what
like,
you're
these
saying.
people can be good. Like, you have to. And then Rambo shows them, it's like, no, none of these people can be good. They're all
That was all
monsters.
of them. They're all like, well, you can't contribute
Yeah,
to
but
their violence.
she was the leader of it.
No, it was the priest guy.
No,
They elaborated more.
we're getting too deep into this, but she was
You
definitely.
brought it up. You don't bring up Rambo and allow me not to finish, which we'll
You don't
let it
even
not finish.
remember the girl. Anyway,
It's okay.
so
Moving on.
So at this point, Jesus brings them to the kingdom, where they are greeted by Richard and some other guy who's he's playing a little too deep into this.
His
Knights
name
of
is
the Round Table thing.
Alvaro.
Alvaro. I'm not going to remember that.
And the reason I took it down is because were you about to say the way he addressed them when he
Yes.
first came in, and then broke character when he saw Jesus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just right away. Like, how is Rick putting up with this? And Jesus kind of turns into just a bumbling idiot at this point. What is he? He's like, we're here. Well, we're always here, but here we are.
To specify, you have to be specific with these people, apparently.
Rick is just, like, you could see in Rick's face, is like, man, you're talking way more than you have to right now. I just asked you a simple question.
I'm sure every modern Messiah would.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so they're at the kingdom. I was kind of looking forward to Rick seeing, because Rick needs these people.
Right.
There's no doubt that he needs these people, so he's going to have to put up with a little bit of nonsense. And I liked seeing how he put up with the nonsense, how he...
he's had kids.
swallowed
He has
his...
kids.
Yeah, I guess. Swallowed the pill.
Yes, he did.
At the kingdom, Rick's group sizes everyone up. Says they could be soldiers. They're more soldierly than the Hilltop. And they meet up with Morgan again.
Yeah,
And Morgan catches them up on Carol.
lies to them.
Well, yeah, but keeping true to Carol.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we see the CGI tiger that everybody's so scared of.
Who's scared of it?
All of them. Remember the first they come in and Jesus is like furthest. He's closest to the stage where Ezekiel is with the what's the tiger's name again?
Shiva,
right? Yeah. And I was like, oh right, I forgot. Yeah, he has a tiger. It's okay, and that makes it okay for them to approach it.
Well, no, they were just a little stunned by the presentation of this whole thing, I think. I don't think the tiger's going to...
Well, the CGI tiger? No, I wouldn't be afraid of it either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to them, obviously, it looks like a real tiger.
I know.
To us, it wasn't that bad. It was better than in the trailers.
You find? Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely did a little more work on it.
I think it's just because I know, and I'm just never going to be convinced. But I guess we'll see how they put it to use this season.
But what do you mean? You know that Negan's not really killing people with a baseball bat.
No, he is. I haven't seen Steven Yeun since. No, I'm kidding.
He's gone missing. So yeah, they're introduced to the ridiculousness that is King Ezekiel.
The most being Jerry.
He
has too much screen time.
Jerry is a character from a different show. Jerry is like a character from
Archie.
Sure. Archie?
No.
Okay. Because that's a show too now, Riverdale.
No, it's not.
Were you talking about Archie, like Archie comics?
Yeah. He'd be comical enough to be in an Archie comic.
Okay.
Or try to be comical. Like, no one's going to like him, because he's trying too hard. He's trying to get his way into every panel, and it's just he's not funny.
No.
And he's very forced. Yeah. That's how I feel about
him.
Jerry's character, and I know you feel the same.
He's a fan favorite, though, apparently.
I don't know how. I don't get it.
No.